So, ready? And you want to hear it? Here it goes. Welcome to the 8th episode of Born in Trouble. 28th? 28th episode of Born in Trouble. I'm your host, John X. Streaming live tonight from the big bad town of None Your Business. And of course, I have my illustrious panel of guests with me. We're going to start with the City Ring King.
Yes, sir.
Mr. From Detroit, Michigan, Mr. Grant Lancaster.
What up, though? How you be?
What up, though? And keeping with the Midwestern flavor, our boy, Mr. Reggie Wood, boxing specialist, pugilist himself, and avid bike rider, Mr. Reggie Wood.
Good evening, folks.
You still ride this time of year?
Yes, sir.
Really?
I mix it up. I do some virtual stuff in the basement, but then when I can't stand it, I still get out on the road.
And of course, from New Jersey, as you've heard already, from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or just whatever, Mr. Robert Brooks.
You just all over that. You just like throwing flowers everywhere on the way in.
I'm just wondering, like, are you trying to start with me today? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So, brothers, Reg, I woke up this morning and I was like very, 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 very angry after having seen the verdict with Mr. Majors, where he was convicted of assault. And I wasn't upset because of the fact that I have a Jonathan Majors poster on my wall. I wasn't upset because he happens to be banging one of the most beautiful women in the world, Miss Megan Good. I was upset because of the verdict. And let me tell you why I was upset. Really being serious. I'm just going to flip right into it. My problem with the whole situation was that it seems to me like it's just a setup. And a lot of people are saying that it's because of the fact that he was with a white woman and this is kind of his comeuppance, and this is his place. And I have a problem with that narrative too. And the biggest problem I have is with people pushing it, and especially in the Black community, accepting it. Because if you're pushing it, then you're accepting it. But I saw it as basically a personal attack. And the reason why I saw it as a personal attack is because of the circumstances involved. Now that the case is over, we've seen everything that happened. Basically, Jonathan Majors got a phone call from a chick, whoever it was. His girlfriend was in the car with him, grabbed his phone, and this is where the incident goes wrong. She stole his personal property. In the state of New York, if someone takes your personal property, you have the right to take it back utilizing force. Okay? He gets his phone back, tries to get away, pushes her back into the thing in his attempt to get away. She bumps her head. Now it's a track race. I don't know if he went to Yale on a track scholarship or not, but he did those 6 blocks pretty well. And she was right on his heels the entire time. How do y'all feel about this verdict? First of all, I'm going to start with you, Rob, because I could see the look on your face.
I'm indifferent, bro. Like the people who are pushing the narrative that it's his comeuppance, they're backwards. But it happened. You got into a beef. That's the universe that we're living in right now. Unfortunately, the pendulum swung too far the other way for too long. Like this is like somebody getting a hand check call on him 27 feet from the basket. Like, really, you calling hand checking out here? Come on, man. But it's real. It's a call.
You didn't feel at all like aggressed by the fact that this man was just really basically taking his property back, and he ends up like with a
No,
misdemeanor, and he's gonna
it's
lose.
it's his phone went off. He may or may not have been in the middle of some hijinks. She aggressively took your phone because she thought you were aggressively full of shit. Like, if you wasn't worried about it, like if my chick grabs my phone, I'm just like, and we
Mhm.
don't need to we don't need to wrestle for it unless you hiding some shit.
Okay,
So,
but
he was caught out there hiding some shit. He probably overreacted because he was trying to hide some shit, and he got himself into some trouble.
did he overreact or did she overreact?
Well,
That's the whole thing.
well, they tend to overreact when they think they caught you gaming them, right there in front of them. When they think, the chick on the side is like daring to call you while she's sitting there. They
Right.
tend to overreact when that happens.
Reggie, let me
I've been
ask you a
caught in
question.
that position a couple times.
Reggie, let me ask you a question. As a man who's been married for most of his adult life, do you feel like
Would your side chick dare to call you while you were in the back of the car with your woman?
was your wife? Yeah, right. Rob,
So
Becky.
anything I'm getting ready to say is invalidated.
But we want to hear it anyway, though.
But what
You
was
know-
the question? What was the question? So I know.
Well, how do you feel about someone stealing? You're in a cab with someone and they just take your property. Forget about it. They
I'm
just
just
take it
after
over.
you brought together the gist of the events that transpired that night, I'm just like, who is this lawyer that he had? Who's this
Mm,
lawyer that he retained if he couldn't put it in like bite-sized,
nuggets
chunks
like that.
for the jury to see this way. I just can't believe we're at it, like Rob said. I just can't believe we're in this day and time where it's a major risk, a major liability to be in a relationship. If you can just go out and have this level of misunderstanding, and now your professional life is like in this irreparable
Impacted.
state, possibly.
Right. And let's be honest, like what he got charged with were the least possible out of all those charges. Being charged for accidentally hurting someone and that's essentially what the charge is. You can literally give him $100 fine and tell him to go about his business. Grant, how would you feel if this is you in this situation? What are you doing at this point? You're Jonathan Majors. Go ahead.
Right. So this just kind of put me in the mind of, I saw a Drink Champs that had Shaq on it. And Shaq gave a great interview, by the way. But anyway, one of the things that Shaq was talking about was they asked on Drink Champs, you take a shot. They give you a series of questions like X versus Rob, which if it's a tie, I got to take a shot. So Shaq gets to this portion of the program, but he don't drink. Or let me rephrase, it's not that he don't drink in public, he said. And the reason he don't drink in public is because he's putting his mama's house in jeopardy if some dumb shit happened while he's drinking out in public. Right? So
right.
Kind of coming back to Jonathan Majors. Look, man, you got to know who the fuck you with. You know what I mean? If you can't receive a phone call, if you can't be out and somebody asks for an autograph, if you can't do these things with the chick that you with because she gonna overreact, my advice to you is get rid of that bitch.
That's good sound advice.
I'm just saying.
And she looked sketchy.
And I'm just saying, because at a certain point, so I always tell women this, in my relation, I'm a benevolent king. I'm always gonna be the head though, right? And the reason why is not because of some male chauvinist shit. The reason why is because if some shit go wrong, ain't nobody gonna say, hey, ain't nobody gonna ask me, what did she do to get you in this position? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna say, hey, what did your wife do to make y'all lose the house, man? How the fuck did she let that happen? How did she help y'all lose the car? What? Ain't nobody gonna say that. they're gonna come to me and say, dog, what did you do? So I'm running the ship, right? I'm the captain. And if I can't receive a phone call, I don't give a fuck who it's from. If you mad, if you could be mad as a dog in a hubcap factory, sit your monkey ass down and just let me do what I'm doing, and then we can address it later.
Well, let's address their relationship for a second. Does anybody, when you date a girl, does any woman or even man, if you're a woman and you date a man and everything, do they have enough power to actually take your phone and like just go through it at any point in time? And you think that you're in that, if you think that that's okay, like we see this stuff, this is kind of putting a spotlight on a lot of problems within not just the Black community, but the dating community at large, because of the fact that people feel like it's okay for you to grab somebody's phone when you feel like they're cheating. If somebody is cheating on you, they cheat on, that's their business. If you feel like somebody is cheating on you, don't deal with them. You have a choice to walk away at that point.
That's not how it works, though, because in this day and time, everybody feels that they have access to you at all times because you have this phone in your pocket, and everybody feels that they have access to all of your information at any given time, right? Because that's just kind of how we do. People put everything out here. So when you try to keep something secret, it's just kind of assumed that you're doing some undercover kind of shit, right? Like, I mean, I don't know what the story was. I don't know who this fraud was that called, whatever. Don't even care. The fact that he just received a phone call and you decide to go off on whatever tangent you went off on is problematic for me. And for him to be with this broad is problematic for me.
You know what scares me about what you just said, Grant? It makes perfect sense. The simple fact that people believe that all of your information is supposed to be available to them at all periods in time. You're supposed to answer to them. And especially as a Black male, you're supposed to answer to authority. And in this case, is she authority over him as his spouse, as his woman?
Well, but part of that is you the fool, you hanging out with her and you got that thing glued to your hand.
Right.
So she knows you ain't without that thing. So it's reasonable for her to expect you to pick it up because she knows you can't spend 5 seconds without it in your hand. So if you ain't picking it up, well, there's lots of people who aren't, and lots of people who learn to put that motherfucker down because it's bad for their health.
I mean, that's
bad for their relationships.
You have to take time off. But Reg, you're a married man. You use your phone a damn lot all day long. You're on your phone all day, correct?
Guilty.
Okay. Does your wife worry about you on your phone and what's going on your phone?
No, she doesn't. That's to Grant's point of what he was getting ready. He was up closer to and touching. This not the first time he went through this with her. You know,
no, not even close.
This was going on for some time, you know, before, and then to Rob's point, he just didn't know how to shut this down and get on about his way, get on about his business because she was a danger to the team, to the franchise.
Well, there could be a very good reason why he was talking to another woman. And that's another thing. They're not married. If you're not married, I don't understand all these double standards that people just jump right over. If they were married, if they were a married, committed couple, that's something different. He's Jonathan Majors. You know, what crossed my mind was that, what did you think that she's like really more special than everyone else at this?
But we don't know what he's told her. You know,
come on.
It's very possible that he's selling her a line.
Right.
You know, he wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, but do you think he has to? You know, is there really a need for him?
I don't think anybody has to.
Nobody has to, but lots of people do it anyway.
If you're going to say there's a possibility that happened, I can't say that there's not a possibility that happened. Do you think there's a probability that happened?
Dude,
So let me,
actors are not like, when you're acting, you're only as good as your last job. Like a lot of those people, he's not like, his mindset isn't, yo, I'm fucking Jonathan Majors. He's a fucking working actor. Like he's gotta hope that the director likes the shit that he does tomorrow, and then he's gotta hope that somebody else likes him enough to hire him to do something 6 weeks from now when this shit is over. It's a constant, that lifestyle is a constant grind, and those dudes are wired like that. Like he's not,
But that's not really the situation for him, because with this Kane character alone, he had 3 to 5 movies
lined up.
right.
Yeah. It was essentially the
it's also
mountaintop.
gone. It's all gone.
I think that the mistake is that because of his celebrity, we think that he operates on and not necessarily us, but I'm saying people in general, because he's a celebrity, think that he operates on a different plane than just Larry Thompson that works at fucking Chrysler.
But doesn't he though?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't necessarily. He doesn't have to.
Because just think about this: NBA players, NFL players, like any actors, all these celebrities that get caught up in this same typical around the way kind of things with these chicks, like this situation here. You would think that based off of his money, he would feel confident enough to be honest with his chick and not sell her, yeah, we're gonna get married tomorrow. You know what I mean? You would think that if he's dating other people, that he would be honest enough to tell her that he's dating other people, because hey, I'm fucking Jonathan Majors. I'm very willing to lose your piece of shit ass. You see what I'm saying? I mean, but you have to be willing to lose. You got to be willing to lose though.
Yeah.
And most dudes are not willing to lose whatever woman or whatever thing it is. You see what I'm saying? They're just not willing to lose. But once you get past that, I mean, dudes take rejection all day, every day. And as an actor, you take way more rejection than a typical dude. So maybe that's the dysfunction. Maybe based off of all of the rejection that he takes, not only from women, that because before he was what was the show on HBO? I mean, I had seen him in something before, but he did the show on HBO.
Lovecraft.
Yeah, Lovecraft
Country.
Before Lovecraft, I mean,
he was a face in the crowd.
Right. He was the average motherfucker. He was the average motherfucker, and he got turned down plenty of times from women.
Well, he was a little bit different because he won a prestigious acting award at Yale, which kind of gave him a little bit of hubris, which is what some people are kind of, they say that there are some detractors based on his time at Yale and people stating those things. But I'm just going to bring it back a second to the thought process and the concept that he is just the same as you and I, or the same person. There's a movie. The first thing I thought about when I saw this was the movie Entourage, when the character that was played by Haley Joel Osment was like pissed, and he was fucking up the whole movie because of the fact that he saw Vince going in and sleeping with Emily Ratajkowski. And when Arnie called him out at the meeting in front of all those board members, he said, listen, newsflash, these Vinces of the world are supposed to fuck the models and the girls that are unattainable. That's what makes them who they are. That's what they are. So if you're going to be in that circumference, then you should actually expect that. You don't have the right, and really on a more basic level, like I look at this from a relationship level. It's like, how fucked up must it be to have to go into a relationship and know that everything you say is possibly open and out there for the public to know about it. Like Rob, you had said something a little bit earlier about, they may have the right to know, or I forget what it was that you had actually said, but it just puts it in such perspective for me that, you can't, all right, suppose, he isn't being open with his woman, why isn't he being open with this woman? Because, well, you don't really know her that well. She's just a girlfriend. Everybody has their getting to know you phase. And when you're trying to decide what to divulge, what not to divulge in a relationship, right or wrong, right? So
Yeah.
Mhm.
with his position, does he want to be like, hey, listen, I'm an actor. Most of my time I spend on sets. Most of my relationships are transitory. And if you're expecting something more than that, then we should just not even get involved. We can't even keep it light. If you can't keep it light, we can't be together. If you say something like that to this woman, how many women have entered into relationships with guys that have said stuff like that to a woman, only to be like, yeah, but you know what? I'm going to change your mind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's
I'm
lots
gonna
of that.
change him.
Okay. So how does this actually, so how do you actually, as Jonathan Majors, how do you actually like manage that in a relationship? It's like, it's damn near impossible. And the problem is that only one person in the relationship has a financial stake, and that's him. Because now his good name is ruined. Personally, the way I feel about it is that Marvel wanted to pull the plug on that series of movies anyway. And this is convenient for them. Anyone who saw that tape and saw that evidence knows that there's no case there. There's no case there. That's a man and a
They had
woman in an
started
argument.
they had started dismantling the talent for it anyway. I mean, like 2 weeks ago. So I mean, this it didn't really seem like this verdict would have changed anything because they had already moved on from like the writer and director that was attached to it.
It was, I think it was honestly a good opportunity for them to get off out of the contract, get out of the commitment to do all of these movies, and once again blame a black guy, which is perfectly believable because we've done everything. We're responsible for everything. Ghetto loans and the Marvel universe. But the one thing you can see, the one thing you can see in like, you know, from fans of Marvel, I've been reading the boards. A lot of them are saying like, you know, no matter what, he fucking killed it as King. And someone else said, I don't even think if you kept him in the series, there would be any backlash based upon what people have seen. So this is not really a public opinion decision here. This is really a Marvel decision at this point because we all know a crazy bitch. Like, let's just call it what it is. This ain't calling all women bitches, but there are crazy bitches out there, and she's one of them.
I just don't know
Well-
how did this get to a courtroom?
My advice moving forward for all men who are find themselves in any kind of situation, if you have access to Derek Jeter, you probably need to reach out to Derek Jeter and see how the game is played.
See how it's done correctly.
Yeah. See how the game is played, baby, and just follow the blueprint. Derek Jeter should probably be writing a book.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. He could do the update of how to be a player.
right. You know,
Now
just send them away with flowers and candy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just, you know, be nice about it. Be upfront. Tell them, look here, man. This is. I got 3 weeks with you. That's about as long as I got.
That's about
And
it.
in
Let's
our
keep
3
it
weeks,
real.
we can be done. Look, I'm always be here for you. Blah blah blah. Whatever the Derek Jeter blueprint.
Yeah.
But he had to have been with this one going back pre-Lovecraft or something. Like,
I don't think so.
you don't,
No, I think he's been moving around pretty, like,
but they lived together, right?
yeah, in New York. But you're on set. You're not always bringing your wife with you or your girlfriend
Yeah,
with you to the set. She could just be, it's like that relationship, what he viewed the relationship as and what she viewed it as can be two completely and totally different things. And my problem is I got two things. I got respect for Dr. Umar today, because Dr. Umar came out and he said a piece and he was thinking the same thing that I was thinking at the same time, which was an attack on one black man is an attack on all black men. And that's exactly what this is. This was an attack on a black man. You cannot go in, you can't say that you're down with black men and abandon him because of the fact that you don't like the hue of the woman that was in the car. And the people that are sitting up here and saying things like about, oh, if he was with the queen, like that's just ridiculous. We're not even going to go there. We're not even going to go there because it's like we're not into beating down on dumb people and like dumb points of view. That's like stupid. If you really want to put that point of view out there, ask Anthony Edwards today how staying with black women in that circle has worked out for him as far as the drama. Have you heard about that? Rob, you know about that, don't you?
What is going on here?
Anthony Edwards.
I heard about it.
Who's Anthony Edwards?
The ball player?
Would fill him in. He's a basketball player.
It's the dude the none of these chicks gonna eat off my check.
He
Whatever,
said
is it that guy?
This is
Or
the guy
the
that
abortion
said that,
ones.
This is the guy that he's the abortion ones, and this is the guy
Okay.
who said that Michael Jordan couldn't cover him today. So, well, go ahead, tell him what happened.
So he got a little high.
I just saw a couple of details on it. It was a couple text messages or some stuff that got screenshotted. Apparently, he doesn't want this woman that he has some involvement with to have a child. He said something about $100,000.
Yeah.
Here's the $100,000. Go get the abortion. LOL. And it's one other text that I'm missing.
But
That's the gist of it, though.
That's basically the gist. He got a woman pregnant, and he has another girlfriend who's another separate Instagram model. And this one, he told her he doesn't want to have the baby, so he paid her off. He gave her $100,000. You would think that would
the
be
money and the baby.
Now she got rid of I think she got rid of the baby and everything, but she didn't want to get rid of the attention or the opportunity to grab a lot of the attention. So she leaked the text messages along with the picture of herself. So now we all know what she looks like. And we all know that she took $100,000 to kill her own seed as a payoff to kill her own seed. So just because of the fact that now he looks bad as well for what he did, because he had to pay her $100,000 to basically kill his seed. So nobody looks good in this situation, but it's out there. But this is why it's better.
But
at least
this is why these motherfuckers. I saw a comedian. It was Michael Shea, like 2 weeks ago. He was like, Nick Cannon reported that he spent over $1.2 million in the last year taking all of his kids to Disney World, to Disneyland. Over $1 million, because that's just how bad wearing a condom feels. Like, why can't any of them? Just wrap it the fuck up. Stop throwing your seed everywhere like you fucking Johnny Appleseed. Motherfucker, it's not planting season.
Well, it's kind of open.
Take that $100,000 and put it in the fucking bank.
It's kind of opening up a lot of other conversations with black men, amongst black men.
Like what?
Like, should you be having sex with a woman if you're making six figures and she's making whatever it is that you give her out of that six figures?
But that's what dudes do.
Yeah. That's
a dude will walk into McDonald's and be like, "Yo, that bitch is bad," and fucking snatch her out of McDonald's. Like, if you only date women who are your fiscal equal, fucking pool is thin.
But don't women expect? Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just gonna say, if you're a man that makes money, typically men who make money don't give a fuck how much money the woman that they with makes.
Yeah, because
you see what I'm saying? Money. But yeah, because we gonna spend my money, and when the good time is over with my money, shit, the time is over. I don't give a fuck how much money you got.
Yo,
That's
that
all
shit
that-
is real. And too many
Hey,
dudes.
we make fun of and make rude, harsh comments to people born in the 1990s. And along those same lines, like if you didn't get married, if you got married after 2003, you open for all kind of drama and fuckery, and good luck out here.
I mean, look.
I mean,
Yeah.
brothers get ready. You got to go back and like
Reggie Rennis.
we're gonna have to bring
Reggie
back
Rennis.
we're gonna have to revisit Fufu or something. Like you got to go get something from
Yeah, man.
overseas.
But it's the same thing though, right? It still equates to the same thing. So if the king, like the monarchy in England, if it had a king, or it has a king now, so the king goes to McDonald's, meets a young broad, he wipes her up, she becomes the queen. The queen of England. Go to McDonald's, meet some dude, she marry him. He become the queen's husband. He'll never have no power.
Yep.
You can't elevate him none. So it's just how it works. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you don't. I think if you're a powerful man, what you want is somebody to kind of cater to you. You know, I mean, you don't mind if they make money, of course, but if the pursuit of you making money interferes with you doing what I need for you to do, I would rather you just stop that shit.
Man, bro, you just fucked everything up in this like modern dating relationship.
Uh-oh.
Am I the only one who can't hear him?
I can't
No,
hear.
I can't hear him either. You kirking
Nah,
out
bro,
right
your
now.
internet's acting up, man. And it's a good healthy rant too. Like we're missing some gold right now.
Yeah, I felt
Gold,
like
Jerry.
he was
Yeah.
getting ready to.
He had profound energy.
Oh,
Hey.
Jerry.
First it happened to Kelsey. Now it's happening to John X. Somebody lined up off sides and shit. It ruined an all-time great play.
Dog. I know, and not to change the subject, but did you notice how much they call offensive offsides this week in the NFL though? Like they called that shit a grip, bruh. Like, okay, you gonna go off on us because you can't go off on this dumb motherfucker that lined up off sides? Because that's really who Pat Mahomes wanted to go off on, but he can't.
That's all. That's
Yeah.
all that was directed at. He was talking. He kept talking to the ref, and my man was over here with the hood and shit all up on him.
Yeah,
He knew
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
They
I
knew
want
exactly
you to hear
who that
all
was
of this.
directed to.
Yeah, I want you to hear all of this, even though I can't say it directly to you, nigga.
That's all that was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel bad that our fearless leader is.
Yeah,
in technical
you still
hell.
on the island, B? You still on the island?
It's the attack on the black men, man.
Right. You brought up
See,
Jonathan
that's what
Majors,
it
and now, now look at you.
Now they
Another
coming
one
for-
is
now they coming
another
for
one is
John,
being
too.
silenced in real time.
Wah wah wah
They
wah
keep catching
wah
y'all.
wah.
They keep catching y'all out there with them snow bunnies.
Wah 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 wah.
Maybe
Dropping the hammer.
is there any thought that maybe Jonathan Majors should have looked? He should have got in touch with Anthony Edwards. Like, is that what it is? The 6-figure cleanup plan? Is that what I should have done here?
Nah, man. So I mean, I guess maybe it's different for somebody like me. I don't have a whole bunch of money for somebody to take. So if I'm Jonathan Majors, I'd have made 200 million off of Marvel, and somebody gonna take 50,000 from me. All right, I'm gonna just chalk that up. Somebody take $5,000 from me, I'm ready to kill him. So, and I'm just saying that to say I'm not in a position to be able to put up with nothing that could be detrimental to me. You know what I'm saying? The reason I'm not active on social media is because of an incident that happened not with me, but with another restaurant owner in the city. Some restaurant owner in the city had a beef with a lady in the store. She was black. He said something online. 2 weeks later, his restaurant was closed. I said, let me close the curtains on my social media today, because I'm known to say inflammatory shit, not necessarily meaning to say inflammatory shit, but it's just what I think. And, you know, a lot of times I'm just trying to be funny, but, you know, sometimes it's real. And I guess it's all based in reality, but sometimes I you know, give it the little writer's embellishment so that I think it's funny. But sometimes what I think is funny, other people don't think is funny. And you can get caught out there in this day and time with social media being as powerful as it is, and the cancel culture being as powerful as it is. So back to Jonathan Majors. Hey, bruh, I understand if you ain't a pimp player hustler like that, you don't have to be, but you have to be smart enough to protect yourself. However you do that, you don't have to follow my program, but again, you made 200 million, B. You got access to Derek Jeter somehow. You can figure out something.
I was thinking about it earlier after talking with John, some other stuff kind of related to this, but the whole thing years ago was like stay out of people's bedrooms and you know, privacy and so on and so forth. And it's like now people taking major L's for what's going on in the bedroom left and right. And for real, the footage that I saw getting up to them finding her on the floor of the closet, the walk-in closet or something. I quit watching it. I quit paying attention to the story because I was like, this was just a night with a little bit of police involvement. That's as far as it could go. But for this to go to court, they got time for this in the judicial system?
Well, I think there was also another incident. There were some messages
earlier
associated with, and I think that's what kind of sunk him, the messages from the other incident. But
I mean,
that it may, once again, we could say it sucks or whatever, but you're a black man, you were just handed this film franchise, and now you out in the streets fussing with some white woman. It is not the most shocking thing in America that they drop the fucking hammer on you.
Right.
It would be shocking if they were like, no, that's just a personal thing. We'll just let him to continue to roll with that. That would have been shocking.
Wow.
He's still trying.
There is nothing that has silenced John for this long in a very long fucking time.
He's only silent to us. He making a whole lot of noise in that room right now.
John is like, I planned on getting in my bag tonight, and this you got the nerve to silence me on my own shit.
Yeah, but just
he also he getting ready to let that King Kong ain't got the pine sauce.
I'm back.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, okay.
Now you're back.
Oh, yeah, you guys, a bunch of funny guys with jokes, right? You got lots of jokes.
Shoe
right?
program.
Yeah, 23 hour lockdown.
Funny guys. Listen, then. I was saying, what I was saying is that she's not, first of all, she's half Arab. She's not even American white. She's British or Scottish or something like that. And like people making this whole like white argument, James Earl Jones' wife, white, Ernie Hudson, white. There's like all these dudes that have been gone through that and white. I really don't think that that's what it is. I think it's more about him being black than it is about her being white. And that's my problem with the whole thing. Because, like I said, it would have happened with anyone. if it would have been a black woman, you think that they wouldn't have paid? I can't even tell you what the opinion that I heard earlier. That was from a woman that was basically like, yo, she's the worst type of woman. She was saying that she is the worst type of woman. But I don't think it has anything to do with her being white. I think it has everything to do with Jonathan Majors being a black man at the head of this great big franchise that they were trying to put forward. And they really don't want to see that right now. Why did they not recast Black Panther? This is a successful movie franchise, second biggest movie for standalone out of that entire Marvel anthology was Black Panther 1. And
yeah, but I think that was a decision among the creatives. Like they didn't want to replace Chadwick.
Right.
I don't think so. I think it was more along the lines of they were not going to replace him. They weren't going to replace him because because of everything else. There's so many different reasons why. Since when does money like get in the way of since when does like sentiment get in the way of making money? Come on. They replaced Rhodey in the series. Terrence Howard got into a beef. They replaced him before you blinked. It was like, oh shit, this nigga done grown 4 shades darker. What, Rhodey went down to Africa and they stuck him outside for a couple of years. Right. Now Terrence Howard is,
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. It's not unheard of that you would just replace it. It's just, I really think it's more about the numbers of the series that just came out. And I think that they're still dealing with post-pandemic America and business and the movies. Because before the pandemic, we had movies, people used to go to the movies all the time. What's been a blockbuster movie that's been successful post-pandemic? I don't think Harvey, what?
Barbie.
Barbie? Was that really a big?
Yeah, Barbie was pretty big. They made a lot of money. Yeah.
All right.
Made a lot of money.
But that's pretty recent. And that's a long time afterwards. So what I'm saying is that it's taken a long time for the general public to start going back and getting into these new things. And then not to mention the fact that the economy is in the shitter. So it's expensive to go to the movies. So
that's why you go on Tuesdays.
Yeah, but these big budget movies, though, they're not really what these places are. They're starting to rethink making these big budget movies. Is generally like the story.
So the Quantum Mania didn't even break even. And I wouldn't doubt that it was like, yeah, he might have had a great performance and all this other stuff was in the pipeline, but they keep taking these L's with this shit. And it was like, this is the perfect opportunity to step back and regroup. That whole, whatever they're on, phase 4, phase 5. It's like, can they fast forward and get the Blade maybe? I mean, but
they've laid some eggs recently. Like they thought they thought the comic book franchises were, you couldn't fuck with them, and they've laid some eggs.
You know what they not losing with?
Looking at their numbers. What?
You know what they're not losing with is the cartoon version, the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So now that this comic book shit, now that they introducing the multiverse, it's difficult. Some comic book movies are just going to be difficult to make. Like Thor is a difficult movie in my mind to make. Aquaman, even though the second Aquaman comes out on Friday, but Aquaman to me was probably a difficult movie to make and make it, you know what I mean, the right way. With these cartoons, man, I mean, the sky's the limit.
You can do everything.
Yeah, you can do anything with these cartoons. And this, like I said, the Spider-Man cartoons have been shitting on the regular movies, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So you may have a point there, X.
Yeah, my belief is that as far as entertainment is concerned, we went through a whole generation of really lazy producers and directors and audiences. You know, as much as I love the comic book movies, I see the understanding how some people feel like it actually ruined that art form. You don't have the independent movies. You don't have the think pieces. Everything is either go big or go home. You don't, everything had, it's, there's the artistic, the creativity is just like black, you know,
Yeah,
and
but
that's,
everything goes the way in this country. Everything has a tendency to go away on that in that kind of way. Like the mom and pop hardware store is gone because of like Home Depot, you know what I'm saying, or Lowe's or whatever. You know what I mean? The neighborhood grocery store has been replaced by fucking A&P or Ralph's or whoever, whatever your local grocery store chain is. So the little guy always eventually gets swallowed up.
but movies have,
In
but movies
every
have endured and creativity has endured.
Yeah, but there are like four studios though.
you can still
There are
find
like
them.
four studios though. Like
Yeah.
it's not the control over the studios in a very small group of hands.
Right. Yeah, but you gotta be willing, like you gotta go on Tubi and actually watch movies. You gotta go on Netflix and watch the shit that's not just the popular shit, you know, or Prime Video or whatever streaming service you use. You could find some independent shit out there that's good.
Yeah.
But if you're just relying on going up
The
to Deer
theater.
Park to the theater, you're gonna get the same 5 movies that you get every year.
All right. So listen, I want to wrap up this whole majors thing because it took up the whole show. You see, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I knew there was a lot more depth to it than just whatever. And you guys are happy because you got a chance to actually talk for a change. So, but this is with love, man. It's with love. So as I was saying, as I was saying, I just want to wrap it up, and I just want to say, what lessons have we learned, Jonathan Majors? A, phone on silent. B, don't let the woman get her hands on your phone in the first place. C, when exiting a taxi, don't look back, don't extend your arms, just go directly into the sprint. D, if you decide to, after she chases you down, if she's so close to you on your heels that she actually gets in the door before you can lock in and shut her out, like obviously she did, if she's sitting around in your house the next day going through an episode, and this is the most important thing, don't call the D's because they ain't got nothing good for you.
That's a fact.
Don't be a gentleman. Don't be a gentleman. Because what do you got to do? You got to treat a hoe like a hoe. And she might have been his woman and she might have been his girlfriend, but she went out like a hoe. Because as it was expressed to me earlier, and it makes perfect sense to me, if someone ever loved you, there's no possible way that she would have shown up in court to say a single word against you when she knows that you're wrong, that she's wrong. She would have taken some of the other payoffs. So that's why I think she's probably a plan. I think she's probably a plan. And I think that it was put there and it was pushed forward. And I don't usually come out and say such bad things. I don't know this woman, and I never want to meet her. I don't want to be in the same room with her. That's the type of like vibe that she's giving off, and that type of energy. And for the women that are out there that are actually cheering her on and everything, please send me a message and let me know who you are so that way I can avoid your ass too. And on that note,
What? You expect you want to take a bow after that?
bro, I have to. I have to. We're going to flip the script one day to something that Robert understands a lot more about. That's right, Asian porn. Oh, no, wait. Not Asian porn. Asian women complaining because their nephews did not get into the Ivy League school of their choice. Woman went on a rant stating that her nephew, who had perfect LSAT scores and this score and that score, had been turned down by a Ivy League school. And even though they have this case in court which has ruled affirmative action to be null and void, she still blames it on the black guy. What black guy? I don't know. Whichever black guy is taking the spot. But when these Asian people went out and they supported this whole killing of affirmative action, they were very happy to be of assistance to one group that had something called legacy admissions. And legacy admissions allows people who do not have those scores to get into those Ivy League schools. Are the Asians ever going to get over black people going to Ivy League schools? That's what I want to know. Because that seems to be like the only question. We can, and this is not to be racist because I'm not being racist. They are. They're the ones that are out there saying that there are no black people that are qualified to get into these.
Is that really what they're saying?
Well, that's what this woman is saying. She's saying that if there's one black person that's in there, he's a diversity hire, and her nephew is supposed to have that slot. And he's the problem. Is he the problem? Or is the racist Asian lady?
There's a chance that it could just be a racist Asian lady, but at the same time, the problem really is us, because the motherfuckers get the kids and educate the shit out of them, like them tiger moms and shit. They educate the shit out of their kids, and we educate the shit out of our kids on TikTok dances.
See, I knew Rob was going to defend the Asian porn lady because he likes Asian porn.
Well, here's the thing, though. Let me just to kind of shift the argument a little, and very little. She's not being racist. If she was being racist, her nephew would be in there because she would have the power to make some change. So her prejudice clearly don't mean shit. She's not being racist. She's being prejudiced.
Yes.
Ooh.
And that's part of the deal. You come to America, you try to become part of the dominant culture, which is not us.
Yeah, right. You align with white folk.
You align with the winners.
And she's winning right now.
Well, you know, he's got a perfect score on his LSATs, whatever. Like he's doing all right for himself.
He'll do fine.
Sounds to me like he can go to the finest university in the state. That's not an Ivy League school and probably get full scholarship.
Absolutely. They can probably go to a number of like very small, you know, baby Ivies and engineering schools, and it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be wonderful.
Now, if she was smart, she would send him to an HBCU.
Nah, but then he might have a problem with there. He might have a problem there when they find out who was on this.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, and plus they feel like everything HBCU is substandard. It's like I just don't get when are these people going to get over their racism? You know, I mean, you make me have to say racist things. Really,
look, man. If once we get outside of entertainment, cooking, fashion, once we get out of any of that shit and get out of our perceived lane, then it's just attack us. We in the way, we taking up space. It's just what it is.
but they always take our stuff, though. You know,
Maybe
it's
we. Hey, isn't it the Asian people right now doing the most with that glide sideways glide shit? Like they killing it on TikTok. Now that the dance is like 7 months old, they running wild with it. So maybe we should put an embargo on any new dance challenges and shit, and let the world sit out here with the old shit that they can invent for the next 14 months and see if they come looking us up.
I mean, look, one of the things, like, people going crazy with Kanye last week. Kanye got up there and he went on his rant and telling people, like, you know, wake up and everything and do X, Y, and Z and roll with me. And he's calling a lot of people out. And he said something that was like, while he was in the middle of that rant, he said, listen, look, I'm by myself. All these people in this room, they all paid to be here. I'm by myself. I'm making this statement alone. Some of these people in this room probably ops. You know, Kanye he's out there and everything, but he says what he says and he means it. Gotta respect that brother. And he's calling out a lot of different people. He called out Puff. He called out Jay-Z. And by the way, like we had the conversation a couple of weeks ago about Puff, and I asked about the insurance, and it turns out that he did have insurance. So he really isn't spending any of his money. He's not losing any of that fortune. He's just really taking the hit for everybody else. He's taking a hit for Russell down in the on the islands and stuff. It's just a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on in the community, and I just
He's taking the hit for himself. He ain't taking it for nobody else.
He's taking it for himself. Well, look, here's the thing, though.
That
bro,
motherfucker's
like,
not that altruistic, and you know that shit.
No, he's not. No, he's not. And like, you know what? And that was my whole point the other day too. I was like, we are so caught up as a community with this stuff. These motherfuckers, it's not like these motherfuckers is like marching on Washington. They're not like writing any great, like doing anything great for the community per se. They're not making lunch programs like the Panthers. They're just basically getting money for themselves and getting into drama, going, what I'm saying, this one having a baby and this one's baby daddy might be this guy. I'm not even going to bring that into the show. It's just like all this gossip in this community. And this is what is the Black community right now. When we used to have doctors and lawyers, we used to have Dr. King, we had Jesse Jackson, we had all these different great Black men that were doing things. And now we got Puff Ski on boys' butts and girls' butts and Jonathan Majors. And this is what is important. Is any of this shit really fucking relevant? Cassie is not like singing. She's not Aretha Franklin in Detroit in the 60s singing it. This is pop stars getting paid. Like, how the fuck everybody's heads up their ass so far that this is what is the most relevant thing. I'm only on this shit because of the fact that really I feel like if they do this to Jonathan Majors, this is something that they do to each and every one of us on a different level. And the script doesn't change. And it's the rare opportunity that you actually get to see it and you can learn from it. And maybe we can come up with a defense for it.
Move to fan base. How about that? That's Isaac Hayes III. Move all your content there. Let's make that change. Do that.
What's on fan base?
I don't know. Nothing as far as I know, but you know, get on there. Get off of all this. I'm just saying, get off of all this other shit. If you wanna create a true community, start doing some community type shit. Right? Fan base is Black owned. So all right. Start moving your shit.
All right.
Yeah. Start moving all your shit to some Black owned shit.
All right.
Stop shopping and fucking, you know what I mean? Stop buying Nike. Stop, you know, if what you need is the community, then let's start being a fucking community.
See, I'm with that. And it starts with one. And on that note, Mr. Brooks, you had something you wanted to say? I hear you say
No. I'm with you. I'm with you. I like the idea of starting community.
You like that? Start community.
I'm all about
Mr.
that.
Wood?
Oh yeah.
Mr. Wood, you down with that? We're gonna go community based.
Is fan base? That's an app platform.
Yeah.
I think I recall hearing about that a few years ago, and it is wild. Like, what happened to like Black Planet and shit?
Oh, they shut us down. And I say us because I was a super friend. You know what that meant? That meant I could fly into young women's panties and inboxes at will. Black Planet was a glorious time of life. You know that. Black Planet was good. Black Planet was really, that was like the dopest site ever. It was dating, it was politics, it was sports, and it was destroyed because of the fact that it was the one place where Black people could really get together. And a lot of what happened when Obama became president was based upon the grassroots work was done with conversations on fan base. I mean, on I'm sorry, Black Planet, as to whether or not he could actually win and how you would actually go about making that happen. And that's one of the reasons why they dismantled it. People now are plaid. You know, we're not
Who
even
owned it?
dealing with Black and white people.
Who owned
Um,
Black Planet?
I think it was Clear Communications, and then they sold it out. When they sold it out, what they did was they put so many ads on there and slogged it so bad that if you were trying to log on to the website, it would take you 15 minutes to like get on the website, and you'd be spammed with all these messages as you went on there. And they just effectively shut it down. And now they make these communities all inclusive. So all your conversations have to be said and have to be had around white eyes with other people watching you. And this is generally what the plan is. Just they have this guy right now. He was instrumental in actually the same attorney that was instrumental in getting affirmative action changed. He's now gone after Black women there was a Black, I forget what it is. It's like a grant service for Black women entrepreneurs. And they had done all this fundraising, and he effectively, using a law that was made 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation that stated that no fund could be made to benefit Black people exclusively unless white people had access to those funds. Something that was made in 1866, I want to say. And he's actually been successful in stopping them from sending out checks to Black women. Now, there were all these different groups and all these different places that if you're white and you want to like have a group like that, it's simple. It's called Chase Bank. It's called Barclays. But this that was exclusively for Black women, they've actually held it up legally and successfully. This is the type of stuff that you're up against right now. And if you don't get it together and get your mind out of who this person is dating and sleeping with and everything, then you're going to have another problem, because some of the most powerful Black women in the United States of America are married to white men. From New Jersey, Mr. Robert Brooks.
Clutch my pearls.
That's right. Clutch my pearls, and I'll call you daddy or overseer or whatever it is you want me to, Mr. Robert Brooks.
Yeah. And not all that. Edit that out, whatever he just said, whatever that was.
That's not actually. Oh well, listen, man. We got to make people. I'm whatever. From Ohio, from Ohio, home of the boxing champs, Mr. Reggie Wood.
Another great chat, fellas. Another great chat.
Another great chat. And of course, my man, the City Wing.
That's right. 2896.
Lancaster.
2896 West Grand Boulevard, Detroit, Michigan. Come down, get you some.
Mr. Greg Lancaster. Wings. We love City Wings here. And listen, I love speaking to you, brothers, and everything. Another great conversation. Next week is Monday. I don't know if y'all want to do a day after Christmas podcast. We can talk about all the presents that you sent off to other people. But because we know that we're all getting ties and socks. But on that note, I don't even think I'm getting a tie.
Yeah, look, I think I'm getting a lump of coal.
Huh. Well, either way, brothers, I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Pardon me. Excuse me. Enjoy your holidays.
Enjoy your holidays.
Yeah, not Merry Christmas.
And yeah, man.